Hi guys, this is Cathy from Cathy Colors, and I'm back again to do another coloring demo on the Chameleon Color Cards Manga Pack by Sonia Leong. This card has 16 color cards with 8 designs, 2 for each design, and this is what we'll be working on today. For this demo, we will be working on one of the color cards from this pack, and I've chosen the schoolgirl from this pack. So let's get started. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is establish where the light source is. So for me, it's going to be on the top left of the page, which means all of this side will be light and all of this side will be dark. So the first color I will be using is Bisque or NU1, and I'll be using the bullet nib. The color cards are a little small, so we want to use the smaller nib so that it's easier for us to maneuver around the tight spaces. So here I'm just fused for around 5 to 6 seconds each time because of the tiny spaces, and just keep in mind that I start from the left going over to the right to make sure that all the dark spaces are in the right and the light spaces are on the left. After this, I'm going to use caramel or NU4, and I'll just add a hint of shadows on the right side of her body. So that's for her face, her hands, and her legs. And each time I fuse for a very short period, which is around 3 to 4 seconds. Next, for her hair, I'll be using Crimson Red or RD4. I'll be using the bullet nib again. And I'll be fusing for around 4 to 5 seconds every time. Now, instead of going from one direction to the next, I do make up and down strokes for her hair just so that it gives an impression of her hair strands. For her ribbon, I'll be using the exact same color, and I fused for around 4 seconds. And then to add a little bit more dimension, I'll be adding a little purple to give some extra shadows to her hair. So I used PR4 or purple grape, and I hardly fused for this one. I just put it in for around 2 to 3 seconds just so that I get a variation of shades. For her eyes, I'm using BL6 or royal blue, and I didn't fuse for this so that I can get a nice solid color. And then for her collar and her skirt, I'm using BG4 or aquamarine, and I will start by adding the darkest shadows first. And for her skirt, I'll be fusing for around 5 to 10 seconds every time, depending on the area which I want to cover. Just keep in mind that all the light parts should be on the left and all the dark parts should be on the right. And then to add a little bit more shadow, I want to layer my colors and add BL6 or royal blue on top of my aquamarine. And I hardly fused again for this just so that I can get a variety of shades from my Chameleon pen. And it's wonderful because these alcohol pens allow you to do layering like this, and it looks like it's so evenly blended. Just add this color where you want the shadows to be. Next up, for her blouse, I'm using Cornflower Blue or BL4, and I'm using the brush nib for this so that I can cover a large area quickly, and I fused for around 5 seconds. For her bag and shoes, I want to use brown, so I'll use Bark or BR5. For the shoes, I fused for around 5 seconds each time, and for the bag, I fused for around 8. And then to add some extra shadows, I'm adding some warm gray or WG7, and I fused for around 5 seconds. And then finally, to make the girl pop off the page, I will be adding a background. I'm using Warm Sunset or Y03, and I will fuse for around 8 to 10 seconds each time I move from the outward going inward, so that the light parts are away from her body and the darker areas are nearer to her, to make her white blouse pop and all the highlights be seen. And then around her feet, I'll be adding some green just to make it look like she's walking at a park. So I'm using YG3 or Spring Meadow. And just like yellow, I am fusing for around 8 to 10 seconds. And I just put it and center it around this area. And then using the brush nib without using any fuses, I just add little tiny lines around her feet just to give the impression of grass. Then for her shadows, I use Aquamarine or BG4 to add shadows around her shoes, and I use a blender to just blend it all out. There she is, our schoolgirl from the Chameleon Color Cards Pack Manga Edition. Thank you so much guys for watching. And this is Cathy from When Cathy Colors. See you again next time. Bye!